So, something I've talked about a little bit before, when you're getting into these radios, you spend a whole bunch of money on them, and now you're just kind of thinking about using them for preparedness or whatever that situation might be. But it's kind of nice to be able to have more than just that one reason for these radios, more than just the one use for them. Spend a bunch of money on them, you want to be able to get more use out of them. So I'm going to kind of go over one of the ways that I've found that I'm able to do that with some of my radios. Really quick, again, I'm sure this video is going to go longer than 90 seconds, so if you want to see the full video, head over to YouTube. Full video is going to be up there. So anyways, one of the uses I've found for some of these radios is going to be actually using it as a baby monitor. When, I just happen to need a baby monitor, and I don't actually own a legitimate baby monitor. So I figured out a way that you can use the radios to do that, and it's through a feature called VOX. So for anyone who doesn't know, VOX basically means it's a voice-operated transmit. So essentially, just by talking, you're activating the push-to-talk on your radio and beginning to transmit. Not something that's been overly useful, at least in my opinion. There's actually going to be plenty of times when you don't want to be using VOX, but it does have its uses. So in order to set it up on a Hytera, you have to first enable it on the channel that you want to use VOX on in your CPS. And then there's another menu in the common menu that you have to go into in order to allow the internal mic on the radio to be used for VOX. And I can go over some of the programming on that in a later video. But once you've got that actually enabled for the CPS, you're going to take the radio that you want to use as the monitor and come into the menu. We'll go down to settings, radio settings, scroll down, VOX right there, VOX. You select VOX. You're going to go on off and set that for on. And now that I have it set for on, when I'm just talking, let's see if I can show this on camera here. Testing, 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 testing. So now it's just listening to the mic. And it's just not even having to push the push to talk to do it. Let's get that to stop. Sorry, getting distracted by a phone call there. I've been getting so many freaking spam calls recently. Coming up to, it's currently end of September. There's VOX going again. Currently end of September, and I'm getting spam calls left and right. I'm getting sick of it. Ready for the elections to be over. Anyways, back to VOX. So, see, VOX can definitely get annoying sometimes. I'm going to cover the mic for a little bit now until I'm actually ready to start using it again. So you might notice that I was actually getting a little bit loud for it to activate there. And trying to use it as a baby monitor, you might not want the baby to have to get that loud before it activates the VOX. Well, we can change the mic gain levels in the radio so it's activated by much lower noises. So to do that, back into the settings, radio settings, back down to VOX, and gain level. Now we'll select the internal, and if we want it to be as sensitive as possible, we're going to go to level 1. So now when I start talking with it at level 1, it automatically picks up. I don't have to get louder in order for that to happen. It will pick up the slightest noises. And this is something that I've used with my kid, actually. It works really well. I was just using it around the house, but the nice thing about this is technically you can use that anywhere that you have two radios. So if you're out camping, you want to leave the kid in a tent while he's taking a nap, and you just want to be out in the chairs, whatever you want to do, this can make it a lot easier. Something else that's nice about this is you can use this over your regular encrypted channels. So if you don't necessarily want someone with a scanner to be able to pick up your typical analog baby monitor transmissions, or however they're being done nowadays. I don't know. I haven't gotten a legitimate baby monitor. If you have it over an encrypted channel, no one's going to know that it's from a baby. You don't have to worry about creeps in the neighborhood trying to figure out where kids might be. I don't know. Some people might think I'm getting a little paranoid with those thoughts. I don't. And we'll just leave it at that. So, you can see the VOX there actually works really well. It does definitely get annoying if you have it set up when you don't necessarily want to be using it. That's why I like to have it just designated for one particular channel that might not be the main channel that we're going to be using, but it's definitely a feature that's nice to have. So, thinking outside the box for some different uses that you might have for these radios, get some more use out of them, and yeah, not have to work so hard to try and justify all of your more expensive preparedness related purchases. Have something that you can use it for every day. All right, let me know if you've got any questions.